country that left a mark on me when I lived there. It was only for a brief period, only for a few years. But it's almost bizarre to see what's happening politically in Japan today around the issue of terrorism, because Japan is such a safe country. Terrorism happens, but it's very rare. Things like the Aum Shinrikyo back in 1995, it's not a constant thing, and it's because Japan typically has a very cooperative foreign policy. It's not focused on conflict, war, and militarism. And despite that, now we have the Abe administration that's saying terrorism is this huge problem, we have to create this new law, conspiracy law, to change everything right now. We can't wait, we can't discuss it, we can't take more time. And the public, Kyodo News did a poll that said 77% of the Japanese public thinks that the government has not adequately explained the law. They don't know what it's for. And despite this, the LDP and Abe, they just say, we have to do it now, we have to do it now, we have to do it now, because of the Olympics, because of the United Nations. And yet, the United Nations is now sending letters saying, wait, stop, this law isn't right, this law is deficient, it could cause problems for human rights. And the Olympics isn't until 2020, right? So why do they need to pass a law now, in 2017, before June, when there are so many other problems that Japan has to face that are more immediate, more direct? Like when we look at the scandals in Japan right now, unfortunately again, around Abe, like with Moritomo Gakuen or Kake Gakuen.
Yes.
Again and again and again. Why aren't they using this time in Parliament to discuss this? Things that actually matter right now, right? But of course we know, and the answer is politics. The LDP would much rather talk about terrorism, which is not really a problem in Japan, than they would about corruption in the construction industry or in the land industry. And this is not a problem specific to Japan. This is a problem that we see happening again and again in different countries around the world. But I think governments underestimate the public. I think they think citizens don't see what's happening. They don't understand what's happening. But as time goes on, and these things happen again and again, and the government moves to distract or to talk about a different issue that doesn't have so much impact on their lives, but it makes them scared. It makes them feel like they have to depend on the government, because the government says, if you don't pass this law, if you don't give us this power, if you don't keep this party elected and in charge of government, you'll be in danger. Your children will be in danger. Your family will be in danger. Your home will be in danger. And I think it's dishonest, and obviously so.
Okay. I'm sure that you are a specialist of Japan.
No, really, I'm not.
Yes, now. So, my first question is about anti-conspiracy bill. Yes. As you know, UN Special Rapporteur on the right to privacy has sent a letter to Japanese Prime Minister expressed his concern about contentious anti-conspiracy bill, saying the bill may lead to undue restrictions to the right to privacy and to freedom of expression. I share his concern. What is your opinion about this letter?
The first thing that everyone can understand, whether they're for this bill or against this bill, is that there's no hurry. There's no rush, no immediacy that says we have to pass this bill now. The Olympics, which is the Abe administration's argument for why this bill must be passed, is not for years. So we can take a little time. We can discuss this. The basis that the Abe administration proposes to explain why this bill is necessary is to comply with a United Nations directive. And yet, the United Nations representative from the Human Rights Council, the Special Rapporteur on Privacy, Joseph Kanatuchi, has sent these letters to the government of Japan, to the Abe administration, and said, yes, there are serious concerns. And I agree with him. I agree with the United Nations. This is a bill that is not well explained. No one sees a clear basis for why this bill is necessary in the first place, given that the types of crimes that we're talking about in the context of terrorism are already against the law. It's against the law to conspire to commit murder, arson, rape, theft, kidnapping. These are serious crimes that the police have always investigated in every country, including Japan. And we should remember that the Japanese police are not incapable, they're not weak, they're not having trouble getting confessions from criminals. The Japanese police and the Japanese court system have one of the highest conviction rates in the world for someone who's been arrested. It's almost a joke that the Japanese police can arrest anyone. They could arrest a stone, a boulder, a bicycle, and within 1 week, the bicycle would have signed a confession. But that's neither here nor there. The idea is that the Japanese government already has the tools they need to counter terrorism. But if they didn't, would this be the bill to correct that? Every expert who has examined it says no. This is not the right bill. This could be a first draft. Maybe we could get a better bill out of it, but the bill as it stands today is dangerous, it's incomplete, and it has no real guarantees of privacy in a society like Japan, where privacy matters, right? If I could carry on one more point there. But I'm sorry, did you want to interrupt?
Yeah.
I think the central idea that we need to grapple with is the breadth of this bill, how wide it is. Instead of saying, okay, we have a new conspiracy law that focuses on terrorism, they have a new conspiracy law that focuses on terrorism and everything else that's not related to terrorism. Things like taking plants from the forestry reserve. I can't even remember all of the examples. But when you look at the bill, you go, why is this included? And this raises serious questions about if the focus of this bill is not truly on terrorism, if all of these other 200 some laws or crimes are being included, what is the real purpose of this bill?
That's the question. Yes.
If you ask me,
okay. How do you speculate the hidden intention or purpose of the Japanese government, which is trying to pass this bill?
We don't need to think in the context of evil governments or hidden plans to realize that this bill is a bad idea. But if we think about the fact that governments aren't stupid, right? Governments have experts for them, they have lawyers for them, and they still propose this bill anyway, that the United Nations and everyone else